Most men think starting a conversation with a woman is hard. That's why they freeze. They overthink. They try too hard. But high-value men are different. They don't chase attention. They don't force conversations. And strangely, women feel comfortable around them almost instantly. So what do they do differently? In this video, you'll learn exactly how high-value men start conversations with women they just met. Without awkwardness, without pickup lines, and without pretending to be someone else. By the end of this video, you will understand the mindset, the energy, and the simple habits that naturally create attraction. Before we start, comment, "I'm untouchable," if you're ready to transform your life and relationships. Number 1. Stay calm. The first thing high-value men do is stay relaxed. Most men destroy their chances with women before the conversation even starts, because the moment they see a beautiful woman, they mentally abandon themselves and begin treating her like she is the prize, while they become the applicant, standing in front of a judge waiting for approval. And she immediately senses this weakness, because women spend their entire lives around attention, validation, compliments, nervous energy, fake confidence, forced humor, and men trying too hard to be liked. So when you approach her while emotionally unsettled, she instantly places herself above you without even thinking about it consciously. And now every word you say carries the energy of someone asking for permission to exist in her space, instead of someone who naturally belongs there. And this is why so many men walk away from conversations replaying every second in their minds, wondering what they did wrong when the problem was never their words in the first place. It was their emotional state, because women respond to emotional certainty far more than polished sentences, and most men never realize how deeply their need for validation controls their behavior until they begin observing themselves honestly. Because look at what happens when she takes too long to respond, when she gives a short answer, when she looks distracted for 2 seconds. Suddenly, your entire emotional state changes, and now you are speaking differently, thinking differently, reacting differently, trying harder, chasing harder, and losing yourself more with every passing moment, while the high-value man remains emotionally grounded, because he never enters the conversation trying to extract self-worth from her reaction in the first place. He understands something most men avoid accepting. Attractive women are not rare anymore. Attention is not rare anymore. Beauty is not rare anymore. But emotional control in men is extremely rare. And the moment you fully understand this, your entire presence changes. Because now you stop seeing women as these mystical creatures who hold power over your emotions and begin seeing them as regular human beings driven by emotions, impulses, insecurities, confusion, and constant attention from desperate men who make their lives easier by setting the bar painfully low. And this is why Stoic discipline matters so much in conversations, because Stoicism teaches you to separate your emotions from external circumstances instead of allowing every little reaction from her to dictate your inner world. Because the truth is, most men are emotionally reactive. She smiles and they become overexcited. She becomes cold and they mentally collapse. She gives attention and suddenly they become attached to fantasies that never existed. And women notice this instability immediately, even if they never openly say it. Because emotional instability makes a man predictable and weak, while emotional steadiness creates curiosity, safety, tension, and respect. And this is why high-value men slow everything down intentionally. They speak slower because they are not afraid of silence. They move slower because they are not trying to impress anyone. They think slower because they are not emotionally overwhelmed by beauty. And this calmness completely changes the emotional dynamic, because now she subconsciously starts trying to understand you instead of instantly categorizing you with every other nervous man she speaks to daily. And many men struggle with this because deep down they secretly believe they are lucky just to have her attention at all. But that belief poisons every interaction, because once you believe she is doing you a favor by speaking to you, you automatically begin performing instead of connecting. And women lose attraction very quickly when they sense performance, because performance is rooted in fear, while calmness is rooted in self-respect. And this is why you must begin training yourself to detach emotionally from outcomes in every area of life, not just women, because a man who desperately needs specific outcomes becomes mentally fragile, and fragile men constantly seek emotional reassurance from women while pretending to be confident externally. But women are extremely skilled at detecting emotional hunger beneath words, which is why many men become confused when women lose interest, despite them saying all the right things. Because attraction is not created through logical correctness, it is created through emotional perception. And when she senses that your emotional state depends on her approval, the attraction quietly disappears beneath the surface, while the Stoic man understands that his peace cannot depend on another person's behavior because people are inconsistent. Emotions change constantly. Attention comes and goes. Attraction rises and falls. But a disciplined man remains centered regardless. And once you truly adopt this mindset, conversations with women stop feeling like dangerous emotional events and start feeling natural, because you no longer enter interactions trying to prove your value to someone who barely knows you. And ironically, this is exactly what makes women begin valuing you more, because the rarest thing most women encounter today is not attention. It is a man who remains emotionally composed in their presence without trying to manipulate, impress, chase, or beg for validation. And when you develop this level of calmness, you stop fearing awkward moments. You stop fearing silence. You stop fearing her opinions. And suddenly you realize how much of your past suffering came from your own mental dependence on women's reactions rather than the situations themselves. And this awareness alone begins transforming your entire life, because once a man gains control over his emotions, very little in this world can control him anymore. And this is exactly why thousands of men are reading the Stoic Relationship Blueprint ebook for men, because it teaches the timeless Stoic principles that rebuild your mindset, emotional discipline, confidence, self-respect, and understanding of women in a way most men never learn. Growing up, and now the audiobook version is finally available so you can absorb this life-changing knowledge while walking alone at night, training in the gym, driving, jogging, or sitting quietly thinking about the direction of your life. The link is in the comments, and once you own it, it is yours forever, meaning whenever life humbles you, whenever confusion returns, whenever emotions begin clouding your judgment again, you can always come back to these lessons and regain control over yourself instead of losing yourself chasing temporary attention from people who never deserved that level of power over your mind in the first place. Number 2, start simple. Most men ruin conversations because they try to sound clever. The moment they start talking to a woman, they begin filtering every sentence through fear, calculation, strategy, and self-consciousness, because deep down they believe attraction is something they must earn through performance. So instead of speaking naturally, they begin constructing artificial versions of themselves designed to impress her. And women immediately sense this because they spend their entire lives around men trying to sell themselves, trying to appear cooler, smarter, richer, more interesting, more mysterious, more experienced, more confident than they truly are. And after years of receiving endless attention, compliments, fake charm, and rehearsed behavior, women become extremely skilled at recognizing when a man is speaking from authenticity versus desperation. And this is why high-value men keep things simple, because simplicity signals confidence, while overcomplication signals insecurity. And most men never understand how much damage they create by trying too hard during conversations, because every forced joke, every exaggerated story, every unnecessary explanation, every attempt to sound impressive, quietly communicates the same thing beneath the surface. I need you to see value in me. And once a woman senses that emotional dependency, the entire interaction changes, because now she unconsciously feels your need for approval instead of your presence. And this is exactly why Stoic principles become powerful here, because Stoicism teaches restraint, emotional discipline, self-awareness, and detachment from external validation, which means the Stoic man does not enter conversations trying to dominate attention or constantly entertain her, because he understands that silence, simplicity, and composure often communicate more strength than endless talking ever could, while most men sabotage themselves by believing attraction comes from saying extraordinary things, when in reality attraction often grows through emotional ease, and emotional ease comes from a man being comfortable enough to stop performing. Because think about how many men completely abandon their normal personality around attractive women. Suddenly their voice changes, their humor changes, their behavior changes, their energy changes. And women instantly notice this inconsistency, because emotionally reactive men become different people depending on who they are standing in front of, while high-value men remain internally stable regardless of beauty, status, or attention. And this stability creates trust, because women constantly encounter men who become emotionally unbalanced around them, men who pedestalize them after 5 minutes, men who become obsessed too quickly, men who begin imagining relationships before even understanding who she truly is as a person. And this emotional impulsiveness destroys attraction more than men realize, because women are naturally drawn toward emotional strength while becoming exhausted by emotional neediness disguised as affection. And this is why starting simple works so well, because simplicity removes performance from the interaction entirely. Instead of desperately searching for magical lines or manipulative techniques, the high-value man simply speaks honestly and directly without emotionally attaching himself to the outcome. He says hello naturally, he makes observations naturally, he jokes naturally, and if she responds positively, good. If she does not, he remains emotionally unaffected, because his self-worth does not rise or collapse based on temporary attention from women. And this mindset completely transforms the energy of conversations, because now there is no hidden pressure beneath your words, no desperation beneath your humor, no emotional dependence beneath your confidence. And women subconsciously relax around this, because emotionally grounded men are rare in a society filled with men constantly chasing validation through women, social media, status, and approval. And the more honest you become with yourself, the more you begin noticing how much of male behavior revolves around trying to impress women instead of building genuine self-respect. Because many men spend years improving themselves externally while remaining emotionally weak internally. They go to the gym, dress better, learn lines, study attraction. But the moment a beautiful woman becomes cold or distant, their emotional stability disappears instantly, because they never developed inner discipline. And without inner discipline, confidence becomes temporary theater that collapses under pressure. While the Stoic man develops calmness from within, meaning his confidence remains steady regardless of outcomes, because it is rooted in self-control rather than external approval. And once you fully understand this, you stop obsessing over saying the perfect thing, because you realize women are not emotionally responding to perfection. They are responding to your emotional state beneath the words. And this is why simple conversations become powerful when delivered with calmness, authenticity, patience, and self-respect. Because the rarest thing a woman experiences today is not attention. It is a man who speaks without hidden desperation attached to every sentence. A man who remains centered without needing to impress her, entertain her endlessly, or seek reassurance from her reactions. And when you begin operating from this mindset consistently, your conversations stop feeling forced because you are no longer trying to manufacture attraction artificially. You are simply expressing yourself honestly while remaining emotionally detached from outcomes. And ironically, this is exactly when women begin becoming more emotionally invested, because human beings naturally value what does not emotionally depend on them, while quickly losing respect for what constantly seeks validation from them. And once you internalize this deeply, you stop chasing conversations, stop forcing connections, stop over-explaining yourself, and begin speaking with the quiet confidence of someone who already knows his value before the conversation even begins. Number 3. Listen deeply. Most men talk too much. The moment they start speaking to a woman, they become obsessed with proving themselves, because deep down, they believe attraction is earned through performance. So they constantly interrupt silence with unnecessary words, exaggerated stories, fake confidence, and endless attempts to appear interesting. And women notice this immediately, because she spends her entire life around men trying to sell themselves to her, trying to compete for her attention, trying to impress her before she even decides whether she respects them. And this is why many men unknowingly sabotage themselves, because they believe attraction grows when they speak more, when in reality attraction often grows when a man becomes emotionally disciplined enough to stop centering himself in every interaction. Because the truth most men avoid accepting is that many women are already emotionally exhausted from constant male validation, constant emotional chasing, constant attention, constant approval seeking disguised as kindness. And when she encounters another man desperately trying to entertain her for acceptance, she mentally places him in the same category as everyone else within minutes, while the high-value man creates a completely different emotional experience, because he is not desperately trying to be seen. He is calmly observing, calmly listening, calmly studying her character, instead of instantly trying to gain her approval. And this changes the emotional dynamic completely, because now she subconsciously begins trying to gain his emotional investment instead. And this is where Stoic discipline becomes extremely powerful, because Stoicism teaches emotional restraint, patience, awareness, and control over impulses, meaning the Stoic man does not instantly react emotionally to beauty, attention, flirtation, or temporary excitement. He remains composed enough to observe people carefully before emotionally investing himself. While most men become emotionally attached to women, they barely know simply because she is attractive, and this creates suffering. Because many men are not attracted to who she truly is. They are attached to fantasies created inside their own minds, fantasies built from loneliness, validation, hunger, emotional emptiness, and years of placing women above themselves internally. And women sense this attachment quickly, because emotionally dependent men always reveal themselves through behavior, through over-explaining, through constant texting, through needing reassurance, through trying too hard to keep conversations alive, while the high-value man listens differently, because he is not searching for validation, he is searching for truth. And that changes everything, because instead of obsessing over whether she likes him, he begins quietly observing her behavior, her attitude, her emotional maturity, her level of self-awareness, her discipline, her values, her humility, the way she speaks about people, the way she reacts when she does not receive attention, the way she handles discomfort, and most importantly, whether she brings peace or confusion into his life. Because high-value men understand something most men learn too late. Beauty without character eventually becomes emotional exhaustion, and many men ignore obvious red flags simply because they are emotionally hypnotized by attraction, while the Stoic man refuses to surrender his peace for temporary excitement, because he understands that emotional discipline protects his life from unnecessary suffering. And this is why listening deeply creates so much power in conversations, because while other men are busy trying to impress her, you are quietly gathering information about who she really is, beneath the appearance, beneath the attention, beneath the social mask she presents to the world. And women are not used to this because most men instantly pedestalize them without discernment, which is exactly why many women begin losing respect for men so quickly, because they realize how easily attention controls them. And once a woman realizes she can control your emotions through beauty alone, the dynamic changes permanently, because now she subconsciously knows you are emotionally led by her presence instead of led by your own internal discipline. And this is why silence becomes so important, because silence reveals emotional stability. Weak men panic during silence because silence forces them to confront their nervousness, their insecurity, their need to keep entertaining, while emotionally grounded men remain calm because they understand they do not need to constantly perform to deserve space in conversations. And ironically, this calmness often creates stronger attraction than endless talking ever could, because silence creates tension, curiosity, emotional awareness, and gives her room to emotionally invest herself, instead of passively receiving your attention without effort. And many men never experience this because they are too busy chasing reactions instead of creating emotional presence. And this is exactly why high-value men become unforgettable, because they create emotional contrast compared to the average man. They are not emotionally impulsive. They are not constantly seeking validation. They are not desperately trying to impress, and women subconsciously notice this difference immediately, because emotional composure in men has become extremely rare, especially in a world where many men have built their entire self-worth around female attention, social approval, and external validation. And this is why learning to listen deeply transforms far more than your conversations with women. It transforms your entire perspective on people, because once you stop desperately trying to be chosen, you finally gain the clarity needed to start choosing wisely yourself. And that single shift changes everything, because now you stop chasing temporary attraction blindly and begin protecting your time, your peace, your energy, and your future with discipline instead of emotional impulsiveness. Number 4. Leave early. This is where high-value men separate themselves from everyone else. Most men stay too long because they are terrified of losing the interaction, terrified of losing attention, terrified that if they walk away, the opportunity disappears forever. And this fear quietly controls their behavior more than they realize, because the moment a man believes he must hold on to every conversation at all costs, he unconsciously reveals scarcity, emotional dependency, and a lack of self-respect, while women instantly notice when a man becomes emotionally attached to the interaction itself, because suddenly he keeps forcing topics, extending conversations unnecessarily, laughing too hard, asking too many questions, and trying desperately to maintain her attention even after the natural energy has already peaked. And this is exactly why so many men ruin good interactions by overstaying, because they mistake temporary attention for emotional connection and become afraid to let the moment end naturally. While the high-value man understands something most men ignore, emotional impact is often created through absence, not overexposure. Because human beings naturally value what is scarce, emotionally controlled, and difficult to fully access. And women especially experience endless male attention daily, endless messages, endless compliments, endless emotional chasing. So when a man behaves exactly like everyone else by constantly lingering around her energy, hoping for more validation, he unconsciously removes all mystery, all tension, and all emotional curiosity from the interaction, while the Stoic man remains detached enough to walk away calmly, even when the conversation is going well, because he understands that discipline matters more than emotional impulse. And this mindset changes everything because now he is no longer operating from fear of loss. He is operating from self-control, abundance, and inner stability. And many men struggle deeply with this because they secretly build fantasies around women far too quickly. A short conversation becomes emotional attachment. Basic kindness becomes imagined connection. Temporary attention becomes false hope. And now they emotionally cling to interactions that should have remained light and natural, which is why they constantly overinvest too early and suffer internally when reality fails to match the fantasy they created in their own minds, while high-value men remain grounded because they understand that attraction should develop slowly through observation, consistency, and emotional discipline rather than instant emotional obsession driven by loneliness and validation hunger. And this is why leaving early creates such powerful emotional tension, because it communicates something women rarely experience anymore: emotional self-control. Because most men become available too quickly, too emotionally invested too quickly, too eager too quickly. And women subconsciously lose respect when they realize how easily attention controls a man's behavior, while the Stoic man remains centered enough to leave conversations without needing endless reassurance from her reactions. And this calm detachment creates curiosity, because now she begins wondering why you are different from the countless men constantly chasing her attention. And many men misunderstand this completely because they think attraction grows through endless communication, when in reality, overexposure often destroys emotional tension, because mystery disappears once a man becomes too emotionally available too quickly, and women naturally become less intrigued by what they can fully predict, fully access, and fully control emotionally. Which is why emotionally disciplined men often create stronger attraction without even trying, because their behavior communicates internal abundance instead of emotional scarcity. And this is also why Stoic principles become essential here, because Stoicism teaches mastery over emotional impulses, meaning you do not become controlled by temporary excitement, temporary attraction, or temporary attention. You remain capable of walking away from good moments peacefully, instead of desperately trying to squeeze emotional certainty out of them. And this discipline protects your dignity, because many men embarrass themselves trying to force interactions beyond their natural ending simply because they cannot emotionally handle uncertainty, while the high-value man accepts uncertainty calmly because he understands that forcing outcomes usually destroys them. And once you begin applying this mindset consistently, your entire presence changes, because now your interactions stop carrying the desperate energy of someone trying to secure validation before the moment disappears, and instead begin carrying the calm confidence of someone who knows his value does not decrease simply because a conversation ends. And ironically, this emotional independence is exactly what often makes women think about you afterwards, because now you exist differently in her mind compared to the countless men constantly competing for her attention. And this is why emotionally strong men never become consumed by one interaction, one woman, one moment, or one outcome, because they understand life is far bigger than temporary attraction. And once a man truly reaches this level of emotional discipline, conversations stop controlling his emotional state entirely, because he no longer seeks emotional security from women. He creates it within himself first. And from that point forward, his presence alone begins speaking louder than words ever could. The sad truth is that most men spend years losing themselves chasing validation, attention, and temporary attraction, because nobody teaches them emotional discipline, self-respect, and the uncomfortable truths about people and relationships, which is exactly why the Stoic Relationship Blueprint ebook for men is changing lives right now, with timeless Stoic principles that immediately transform the way you think, act, and carry yourself around women. And now the audiobook version is finally available so you can listen while walking alone, training, driving, jogging, or rebuilding your mindset in silence. And the link is waiting for you in the comments, while I also prepare the full course launching in just a few weeks from now. People profit from emotionally weak men because weak men are easier to manipulate, easier to distract, and easier to control, which is why knowledge like this is rarely taught honestly. So if you are ready to reclaim your mind, your discipline, your peace, and your self-respect, comment, "I choose discipline" below right now. Like this video, subscribe, and help more men discover these truths before they waste more years chasing people who never truly valued them in the first place.